thank you guys for joining. Sorry for being a little bit late. So it's one of those situations where I was watching a live movie and it went until like 3 o'clock. So it was like I was watching it with the commercials. And so I was like, I just want to fast forward through the commercials. And then, I needed to see the end. So I even told Mrs. Good Stuff, I'm like, I'm watching a live movie. So much different than just, streaming and such like that. So how are you doing, Mrs.?
Not too bad. Not too bad. How are you?
I am okay. Yep. Um, kind of a slow day, and I'm actually streaming from my living room with my daughter staring at me. What am I doing? Because usually I'm up in my bedroom doing it, but I'm actually figured I'd hang out downstairs and enjoy the sunshine coming in through the windows and all that nice stuff. So
Because she never does it.
yeah. All right. So we'll say hi to those that are in the chat. I see Marinus. Hey, Marinus. Thanks for joining. And I do see Mo at the moment. So hail to you guys. Hail the Mo. Now, as most of you that have seen this or watched this or whatever, this is kind of a wash and wear type of show. We don't really know what we're going over until we get there. And I do see Mrs. has Creator Go Up. But actually, what I wanted to start off with I know I was slacking with updating the past video, so I did that last week.
Mhm.
But I didn't share the most recent one because I wanted to, or reshare, I should say, because I wanted that one to not be shared as like I was, all of them bombarded at once.
Yeah.
So I still need to do that. But as I was going through some of the stuff the other day, because I don't always, with the channel being on one thing and then me being on like the other channel, I don't always get the notifications that I get comments. So I was noticing comments. Hang on, I'm just gonna mute myself real quick.
That's funny. I was muting myself because my dogs were barking in the background. So I'll keep myself unmuted and you can listen to my dogs freak out over a leaf blowing by. God only knows what.
That's okay. I think I just ticked off my daughter because she is just like standing there watching me. So I basically told her to go away. And she's,
You're
dramatically
freaking me
stalking up
out.
the
Look at
stairs.
me.
But anyways, where I was going with this. Hey Dave, thanks for joining. Sorry I didn't get to catch the show. I did really want to watch that. Dave just had an interview with I believe it was Polton that he had on, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
with Coney Waves. But back to
Did
what
you
I was
see that
saying.
in the comments? Are my comments not working?
I I
I only
see
see
Dave here.
Mo as the last one.
Oh, maybe they're not coming through right on you. It is kind of wonky because I see like comments
There
from
they
like
are.
3
It
different
just like,
people.
yeah, it just popped and
Yeah.
added like 6, 7. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but it
there we
only
go.
shows one person watching live, which I don't know. I don't get it. But anyways, um, if there is really only one person watching live, thank you to that one person. And hey, Nicholas, thanks for joining. Uh, so the comments, and I wanted to pull it up. So when we reviewed, what did we review? We reviewed Lightbringer, and what else was it?
Just last
I
week, right?
Not last week. It was the week before.
Okay. So are
Was it
you
last
wanting
week?
me to pull up the comments on the
I got it up.
YouTube?
I'll read it.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
read it out loud. So I can't remember what else we went over. I suppose if I pulled up the actual okay, Bonds. We did Lightbringer and Bonds.
Okay.
But Dark Gift actually took the time to make a really long response. Now I have
Okay.
received other comments from creators and stuff saying thank you, answering questions, and there have been a few creators that have gone in depth about some of the questions that we had raised when we
Yeah.
went over it. But I figured this would be a good time before we jump into things going over, since it is relatively recent, what Dark Gift had to say about the project.
Okay, cool.
So he replies, he's like, totally didn't know you did this. Awesome of you. Yes, the dream team referred to me and Liz. Vic was mentioned when he was still part of the project. Probably could have changed the wording, but but I thought it still fit, especially since he still did the covers. We were to launch earlier, but I got called into work during the day for a last minute repast. LB1 had a funding goal of 4K, if I remember correctly. I reworded the sentence with the henchman. Thanks for that. I colored cover B and the card. I appreciate the critique. I prefer my colors on the cover over the card as well. As for the Dean cover, we had the covers bought from when Vic was still involved, and I was under the impression that Dean didn't want to do one, as he was under the impression we didn't. LOL rectified. The video goes on. The video does go into the OG webcomic. The pronouns are just a joke. We ran a random pronoun generator on stream one night, and those were just funny. And I asked Dean for a bio, and he gave me one sentence. I had to come up with that myself. Ogden is the correct spelling. He just uses Odin because that's how it's pronounced. But I believe in his books it's the accurate spelling. And he's always gone by Mike with me. And I switched from OnlyFans to Fansly. I'll have you know. LOL. The bullets show up how you name it in the back end for inventory, which limits the character count. We dropped the price from $20 to $12 because of the recession. Same paper quality and stock. Shipping is what it is. I am currently fulfilling someone else's book and priority mail, even some UPS for overseas. Those are the current prices. Prices have gone up 3 times since November. I hate it too. The OG card set from the first campaign breaks down as $10 for the exclusive card, and the others are about $10 each. Same as on the website. Plus, you get the new card as well. You can carry over templates in IGG. I did change the 20 to 10, but it didn't save. It's since been changed. With the original book on this campaign, we didn't want to undercut the OG backers, so we kept that at the original price of $20 for those. It's selling on the website for $25. No, Figaro is not publishing with me. He's just my boy. All the music I write or have used in my trailers have been metal. I went for a hopeful feel this time. I appreciate the eyes and words. Thanks. So that was nice, and he answered
I'm
a few questions.
so glad that you read this because, yeah, it sounds like he went through, like, as a homework assignment and took notes on every single point
Question
and
or
statement
comment.
or
Yeah.
any, confusion, anything you were unclear of, or we assumed something in the wrong direction. I mean, way to go, DG. I mean, that's pretty in-depth. Say what you will about the campaign, but what a great effort to go in and actually make a comment on every single thing that we were unclear on. So
Yeah, no, that
pretty
is
cool.
great. Yeah, no, it's really nice when you get comments like that, and and I can't say I think there's only been one person that didn't appreciate the feedback. And I think that was just kind of a knee-jerk reaction to some of the things that were said because
Sure.
I think in the end he did come around and was a little more appreciative, or at least was helped to see that it wasn't to be malicious and pick on the person or whatever. It was definitely more of a growth situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Mo, for dropping that link. So Mo did drop the link to
Very
Lightbringer
nice.
if you guys want to
Yeah,
look
those
it
were
up,
great
check it out.
comments.
We do have Shadow that has joined us. Thanks,
Hey, Shadow.
Is that right, Mo? I always thought you gave him the Ogden. Because I still question that when DG said that, and then I think that's just what everybody knows him now because that's what everybody calls him. But I could be wrong. All right. So Mo Biggs points out, speaking of homework assignments, can we get the Cliff Note version of Dark Gift's response? It's over with. It's done. All right. So he did. And then it doesn't mean that it's not official. Okay. Gotcha. I thought I was going crazy for a little bit, one of those Mandela effects or something. All right. So I'm going to pull up the creator go now, Mrs. You're all set for me to share, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Have all the naked pictures tucked away.
just checking to make sure. FT.
Hey.
Okay, so I don't know if you want to scroll to the bottom. If we look at the bottom, I know we have had a couple of campaigns that came out this week, which was Joe Frankenstein, which is Nolan, which is well above his funding goal. I think he was at 43 or 48,000, somewhere in that area last night when we pulled it up on the chat. Coney Waves had made their funding goal. I think they're still only at like 5,000, not quite 5,000. And then we had Doc Blaylock's Pariah Blood and Mud, which launched, and I'm not sure if
I don't
that's on
think
this
that made
list.
it on here. No, the
Okay,
other
it
two
was
did, but
it was
Doc's not on
just
here yet.
yesterday, so I suppose we could look at that one. I don't think I still have it up on Indiegogo. Hang on, I'll see. I'll double check what
Oh,
the
yeah,
funding goal was and stuff. So he's
he's
a
supposedly
2,500
shadowbanned.
funding goal, and he's only just over 1,000. So we could definitely look at Doc Blaylock's. There are several because there's quite a few releases in the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks or whatever, that we have not looked at. There's still the Steins we haven't looked at, I Vengeance that we haven't looked at, the 3 that I just listed before. What else was?
We didn't look at the Steins?
I don't think we did
Maybe
look
we
at the Steins, did
shared
we?
in my channel. I don't remember now.
Did we
I need
look
to
at it
start keeping a
closely?
list. I don't think we did. I think maybe we played a trailer on our channel. Maybe that's why I'm thinking of it.
We could have. If we did, we didn't go in depth. There was a couple
Yeah.
I think we looked at kind of like really quickly, but I didn't think that was one of them.
Okay.
See, Mo thinks that we even looked at the Steins too. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess I can't say a lot of good
Skip.
things if I don't remember
Didn't
looking
remember.
at it. But if we did, it must have been quick because I would think something would have stuck in my mind about that one. So yeah, thanks Mo for dropping the Blood and Mud link. Any suggestions from the chat of what we want to look at? Any suggestions from you, Mrs.?
No, not
Yeah,
necessarily. I mean, I know.
Either.
Yeah, Mo said Doc is 44% funded, so I could always pull that one up. There isn't really one that I know we haven't gone over the mythicals.
Oh, wait a second.
But
so,
Mo,
you're skipping on me then. Do I have to spell it out for you? The new one's not out yet, though, Mo.
Yeah.
And hey, Katie, thanks for joining.
Hey.
Of course, that's suggestion of Mo. I think that'll always be the suggestion from Mo. What's the one that's least funded on this list that we haven't looked at yet?
Least funded.
We already did the hybrids one. That was last week.
Did you do Forsaken, or was there some reason?
Oh, that one's been out for a little bit. I think it was kind of a Ninja Logs. That's fresher, Luke. So we could look at Forsaken Gods Volume 1.
And then I guess that's ended. I Vengeance would be the next one from there.
We can, sure, let's pull them up.
What do you want? Which one?
Either one. We can do both, unless whichever one you do first. And if we don't have other suggestions for something else, we'll go with the other one.
Eeny, meeny, miny. I'm going to do this one just because I have not even looked at this at all yet. Okay. So
I know the art is getting some pretty good, I want to say recommendations, but I don't know that it'd be technically recommendations is the word I want for them. But a lot of people are liking the art. I did see, so Mo points out that Hockey has a mailing list up, which that came from nowhere. I don't think I knew that. Yeah. I don't think I knew that Hockey was doing a book. I know he's wanted to do a book, and I know he's helped out on some books and all that. And then I saw that he had a mailing list up, and I'm like, I don't even know much about it. So I'll have to.
Although I haven't crossed paths with Hockey in a chat in some time, so
I think
I don't know what he's been up to.
Yeah, I don't think he's he was taking some time off from streaming to focus on, I don't know if it was real life work or if he's focusing on the project. I don't know, but it's right here. Mo dropped it in case someone else wants to.
Oddities Emporium. Yeah. I like the name.
Yeah. And then Mo was saying that he knew he was doing a sci-fi book with Allie, but didn't know about this one. I think the sign-up has it like the Curiosities and Emporium. It's items found in a shop. And then, so I think it's like kind of a short stories, but tied together by this shop and kind of a supernatural feel to it, if I remember reading it, which is really cool. Hey GP, thanks for joining.
Hey Piggy.
And then Shadow said, heck yeah, Huck is a great guy. Can't wait to see his project. All right, so let's get into the video if you're ready.
Jump in, yes.
All right, Mrs., what are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts right away. Number one, the art. I can see why they're getting compliments on that. I'm a trailer lover, so I think the music went well with the theme. The animation was pretty cool. There was some newer things that I hadn't seen that at least felt new in the trailer.
As far as trailer effects or images?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the
Flash?
shooting through the glass, the bullet through the glass. And then, the flashes, although I've seen flashes before, that looked different. It looked almost a little cooler, a little clearer, sharper.
I did like that effect myself.
Yeah. And then it told some of the story, at least gives you an idea of where the story's going through the trailer without being too wordy. So I thought that was cool. Yeah. I mean, as far as trailers go for me, that was spot on, I thought.
I was going to say, you're picking out more that you liked from it than I probably would have. Not to say that I don't like it, but usually I watch things for things I don't like about it. I don't know if that's bad to say, but I don't think I found anything that I didn't like struck me as odd or I didn't like, and I suppose that says something good in itself.
Does that mean you're chaotic and I'm Grace?
Maybe. I guess if Snuggie was here, he would agree, because they always called me the chaotic one. And
no, I mean that's just. But you know me that I do like trailers. I think it takes. Usually I'm okay. There's not too many out there that people put effort into that I just absolutely hate. I don't know that I've ever come across one that I was absolutely like, oh God, I can't. But they're either okay or I love them.
I'm trying to think, like, have I? I remember I did critique one on this campaign, although it not this campaign, but on the show, and it has since grown on me. But I also think it was edited again, like to the newer version versus the first version that I remember seeing. So
one that drove me absolutely insane was for Dwarves versus Lions. Dwarves versus Lions. That
drove you insane.
That grew on me, and I actually came to like it, which is nuts because I was like, "How in the world did I ever come to not mind this at all?"
It's really a crazy. It was crazy. You're right, but the song was so catchy, and that was just a very different trailer. But in the end, it was like, do 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 do.
Yeah, I'll be singing along with it.
Oh, don't get Nicholas started. You're outnumbered here, there, Greer or Gear. But I'm gonna call you Greer anyways. So, all right. So back to this campaign. Marinus is saying that he likes the logo. It's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I do like the bullet going through and then the shatter. Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder if they're going to keep the Eye Vengeance part and then change the Blood Oath, because I'm assuming the Blood Oath is just for this issue. Although I suppose we'll find out if it's an ongoing thing. I think he's away for the weekend in real life.
I know he also posted that he was starting to get some of the product incoming for his stickers versus bookmark campaign.
Yeah,
Well, he
no,
may have some work on his hands.
I've seen some pictures. They're pretty cool. I'm kind of excited to receive my bookmarks, although I'm not really a team bookmark person because of course I'm team magnet. Um,
There
but
was no team magnet.
I know.
Yeah.
No, he will have magnets. There are some stretch goals of magnets. I think there's a couple. But who can really pass up some of that art that's
Yeah.
on those bookmarks? And
I was team bookmark.
yeah, and and I'm not usually a metal person, but I'm like, who wouldn't want a durable metal bookmark with,
Oh, yeah.
Roquefort art on it? I think I
Mhm.
got like 2 sets, so I might have gone a little crazy.
Cool.
So I did see Jim Cox joined us. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Nicholas points out Lion has no qualms about being outnumbered.
True. Good point.
And yes, Michael Bancroft is a king magnet.
Mhm.
How many people in the chat have gotten their Lucents in? The second edition of #1, I guess is I think how he's putting it. But he had these magnets that he made from like the chat
His chat emojis.
icons. Yeah, the
Mhm.
emojis.
Yep.
So of course I got a whole set and I'm excited to get it, but I've seen so many people posting that they've gotten theirs and I'm just like, one of the downfalls of living in the middle of nowhere. All right. So, anyways, back to this. Let's go ahead and scroll down. We'll see what the story's about. Wait. Oh, so that's the second image and nothing about the story yet, right?
Yeah, it just said welcome to the campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Make sure I didn't miss something.
So 2 images so far. 3.
These are all splash pages.
Ooh, nice chunk of the.
Yeah, he's missing some skull there.
Missing.
Wait, what's on the ground beside him? Is that his pieces of skull?
See shell
Bullet
casings.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, hang on that picture right there. I need others' opinion. Now it's a pretty cool image, but that twist.
Yeah, does it feel impossible?
A little exaggerated for me. Yeah. I don't know if it's impossible, but it's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Because she would have to be, I don't know, the momentum of her turning around quickly to be able to get kind of that stretch and do the shooting. But I don't know if she'd be able to maintain it.
I'm physically trying to do it right now.
I don't think she could maintain there.
I mean, I can get there, but I don't think I could fire a big ass gun. Holding the gun, I probably wouldn't even be able to stand up. So
yeah, so the torso extension just that looks painful to me when I see it. So all right, we can continue.
Well, it does add some authenticity that her butt is kind of coming out of her pants. It does show that it is awkward. It's not completely flawless movement there. She is struggling.
Pull your pants up.
Okay. Oh, snap. It looks a little different here.
Yes,
going
Mo,
through
I will.
Like a zombie change there. Is that what's going on?
Is it? Hang on. Scroll back up just a little bit. Because, yeah, it looks like the same.
So she's got like one normal arm. It's starting here, and then it's kind of going up, and then she's...
Both, and then... Oh, okay. That's a pretty cool image. That'll be interesting to see colored.
Okay, here we go.
So that's 5 images down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The book is 48-page full-color graphic novel full of action, adventure, into the nightmares of humanity and dark fantasy. I have 0 investors and spent my own money to start this campaign with 2 covers, one from Joshua Lamb and one Kanan White. I'm not sure if everybody else knows who these people are. Joshua Lamb, I don't think I've only started seeing recently, like a couple months recently. So I don't know if others have seen him more and I've just started picking up on his name recently or what. But of course, I think most of us would know who Kanan White is. Are you familiar with either of them?
I am familiar with the name Kanan White, but I couldn't, pick something out and go, oh, he's so-and-so that does this, that, and the other. I'm just familiar with seeing the name splashed across a couple of campaigns.
He
And
does a lot of cover art. He's done interior art for at least a couple books. Somebody might have to remind me what those books are, because he was pretty much on the way out as I was coming into CG for the most part.
Okay.
But he still does covers for some CG projects that I've seen. So he's a pretty top-rate cover artist. So story: humanity developed magic along with the sciences. These magicians, thousands of years before recorded history, wanted to be deity. Would it be a deity? I guess it doesn't really matter. They created a pantheon to be worshipped by the masses of humanity. Creatures of the night, werewolves, vampires, mutations, and others were created by them through magic. Some of these creatures were good, others were created by dark magic, and experiments were evil. In the end, thirst for power and a lust for eternal life destroyed most of humanity. Cities sunk into the earth, continents divided, others sank into the depths of the sea, while volcanoes exploded along with other calamities. The flood washed the earth and covered the stain brought by magic. From the Earth's surface, humanity survived, as did powerful artifacts as well as a few creatures. These powerful artifacts infused with magic continued to exist for those few who could tap into their power, as did magic.
Okay.
So artifacts infused with magic, and then people. Okay, no, that does make sense. Creatures of the night continued to exist in small numbers through thousands of years of evolution. A lot of background.
Yeah.
All right. This story starts in 2022. The main character is mortal, but is offered an opportunity to be so much more. It is Phoenix, Arizona. Alicia is caring for her aging grandfather, goes to school and works part-time taking care of her grandfather during her free time, and lives the life of a young adult. Her night is shattered by a home invasion. She was taught marksmanship, self-defense, and tactics as a child and teenager by her grandfather and father. She acts instinctively when threats are present. What she found in the battle opened her mind, setting her on a new path. Come join the fight as Alicia stands in defiance, first for her family, then humanity, as she battles the forces of darkness. It's like a book cover. You know, like when you take a book out of the library and you're reading the what's this book about? Because that's pretty long and in depth, but it sounds interesting to me. What do you think?
It does sound interesting. I agree that it was a little much. Maybe could have even summarized, sort of starting here and adding one or two things from above and kind of leave it at that, but and then go through all that, hopefully.
I wonder if, because that is pretty, there's a lot of detail there. Like, I'm wondering if he shows that in the comic book.
Yeah.
And if he does, how exciting is it in the comic book? My guess is it's going to be pretty tough to come across in the comic book, at least not the first copy, or who knows. I'm not sure how he would do that.
But I think the concept is interesting, for sure. The IP.
So Nicholas says you can tell he's putting everything he can into the book. Yeah, as we go further in, he's definitely put a lot of time and attention and potentially money into this book. Jim points out that that's more reading than he wanted to do in the book. Mo says, is this campaign promoting a book or a book in itself? There we are. Yep.
Yeah.
And then WTF, he didn't even tell us the grandfather's life story. Maybe he does. We're not at the end yet. Shadow points out that needs a bit more backstory. Oh, why did I actually clicked off it? Needs a bit more backstory before you can commit. Mo Biggs, it tells us they live in Phoenix, but were they born? I can't even say this.
So,
were they born there? Did they used to live in another area? If so, why did they move? If not, why didn't they? All right. So yeah, he's got lots of splash pages going on, and they look great.
Yeah, they do. I like this sort of Hulk
You're like, what's going on with her arm?
Yeah. But it almost, like, maybe she can do that, because look, he's biting into her, Bam, bitch. Ain't nothing
Some
but
kind of
rocks.
protection, or is she a
Yeah.
zombie? And then it's like I don't know, stone. Yeah, kind of curious what kind of
Yeah, it looks
ability
like
that
stone
is.
there. It looks a little different here. Now she's buff.
Well, she's up against this buff,
Oh, the crocodile.
whatever he is. What is he? I can't make out what his face looks like.
Conan the crocodile.
Oh, it is a okay. Yeah, okay. See the crocodile now.
Maybe an alligator. It's a small snout. Looks like
Something like that. Yeah, yeah. Reptilian. Margot!
Hey, Margot. So there's the home invasion.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be a teenager?
She goes to school. I'm assuming college school, so
Okay.
probably a although I don't think he specified college, but reading it, I'm thinking she's probably 20. Give or take a year or two.
This guy's face, don't get mad at me for saying this, but I swear it looks like Beavis from Beavis and Butthead. Yes.
Maybe. I guess I could kind of see it.
That was the first thing I thought when I looked at him. I was like,
He looks like he's looking at the wall. Why would he look at the he's looking in the wrong direction? But I suppose they're not sure quite what they got into yet, because you can see the doorway is still going
yeah,
down.
his foot is in the doorway, so
yeah,
they're doing the check in each room.
Getting ready to go into the other way.
But she's like, haha.
Oh, Mo thinks that the reptilian guy is the Egyptian god Set. Oh, Sobek. You know more than I do, Mo.
This is cool. I like this here. I don't know. I like to see what people do with like nighttime images, evening scenery. So I like that.
Kind of neat with the backlighting. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Although that shell casing, it's either really close to us or really big.
Coming at you.
Yeah, the one right by.
Although it's weird. It looks like it's shooting out of the left side of her gun and then flying over her head and ejecting to the right. I don't know.
To us. Weird. Yeah, that might be a little
I mean, I'm
off.
no ballistics expert, but that looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because he said so on stream. No, Set is in the book.
So he said it in the book. He said so on stream. I did watch him on Bancrofts, but I didn't watch. I think I was doing something else at the time, so I wasn't paying too much attention to the overall premise of the story. That almost looks like a Bonds image right there. But
Rod Looper?
Yeah, Rod Looper. Do you know who Rod Looper is?
Again, I've seen the name, but I'm not familiar with him specifically. I'm really bad.
No. That's why you got me.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody in the chat would necessarily know who Rod is. So Rod has done the interior art for Hidden Tiger. No, Black Dragon. I get it mixed up with the movie.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
No, that's the movie. But Black Tiger. And then I think the second book is Hidden Dragon. And then I can't think of the subtitle for the first book. But anyway, so he's done the interiors for those 2 books. He's working on a third. He is doing the interiors for Bancroft, which is Michael Bancroft's side story, which is so he's doing Painted Death, which is going to be like Lucent number 2. Okay. But there is, what did he title the side story? I can think of the side story. But anyways, and he's done other books. He's done Fractured Echo, which unfortunately was a project that didn't get funded, but it did have quite the high goal. He's doing a lot of projects, so it's definitely a name that you see around, but I don't know, not everybody necessarily associates it. And yeah, Mo's like, man, I can tell you about the Rod. I do actually have some of his art. I have some of his pencils for Black Tiger. FG says Rod is great. She loves his raw. I mean, wait. She loves his art.
She loves his Rod?
Whoa. Rod is huge. There we go. Shattered Mind. No, Fractured Mind. Yeah, thanks.
Fractured Mind. Okay.
Yeah, so, and if you're member of Bancroft Stanley. You do see some behind the scene photos, so that's
Mhm.
pretty cool. Now, back to this, but as Cactus, I'm trying to think of his real name. Joe? I think Joe is his real name. Is the one that does this campaign, and he actually has a lot of recognizable names on this, like Keenan White, Rod Looper. I think we'll see more if we keep going. But
Yeah.
anyways, you can keep going.
Wow.
Yeah. Although I'm kind of wondering, and I don't know if others have heard it on other streams or if they know more, but it says some sequential art from Rod Looper. So does Rod Looper do all of the interiors for this book, or is it a combination of artists? But maybe we'll find that out if we keep reading. But Rod is pretty. Yeah, that's the it.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, I guess we won't find out if we keep reading
Well,
because
I'll
it
go
doesn't
back
say
up to.
anything about the creative team.
Let me go back up. Let's see.
We need to know the history of the creative team. He talks about his covers, right? Oh, did I skip that? I skipped that
Right.
paragraph.
Yeah.
All right. I have 0 investors. Spend my own money to start this campaign with 2 covers, one from Joshua Lamb and Keenan White. The cover colorist for the Keenan White cover is Kyle Ritter, so there's another big name. Joshua
Yeah.
Lamb is his own colorist. Second 30 days will have covers by Rob Willis and Jimmy Reyes. Both artists are colored by Stefani Renee. All covers can be backed on the one of everything tier. The book has 18 colored. No, sorry, I'm reading that wrong.
No.
No, okay. Oh, it's completed. Okay. The book has 18 colored interior pages with 22 pencils and ink pages completed. Rod Looper is my interior artist and Matt Yackey is my interior colorist. Okay, so there is. I guess I missed it when I read it. Sorry. There was a lot there. I was hoping to make it quick, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably just skipping
We
over
skip
it.
the important stuff. Go figure.
All
right. Do you want to get into tiers?
Yeah, 1 second. Some of says Rod was drawing fractured books at the same time, not counting his underground book. So Nick points out that he had to change artists. The first guy did some pages and had to back out. Oh, I don't think I knew that. Hey, Derek, thanks for joining.
Yay.
I know. So, Derek updated a video. What video was it? It was the unboxing for. I don't know. I can't remember what he was unboxing, but it was a recent video he updated, and he referred to the people watching his Dukesters, and I was just like, ready to make a comment, but all the comments were turned off. Dang you, Derek.
That was he did that as a short, didn't he?
It was a short. Yep. Oh, it was Fatal. Thanks. That's right. So yeah. All right. So cover 1, just the book, right? That's the first one. Wait, did he do he didn't even select a feature, huh? Like featured tier?
No.
AACC. All right. I guess it doesn't really matter, but do you like when somebody lists featured tier, do you automatically think that's like the best bang for your buck and automatically go for it? Like, would you care that there's not a featured tier here?
I don't know. I don't always go for a featured tier. Sometimes they're just a little more than I can afford. So I guess I probably more times than not order just the book rather than like both cover. Like good stuff is more like orders, the package deals and stuff like that. But
yeah.
So for me personally, it doesn't bother me. But I do. My first instinct to your question is, when I see a featured tier, I do tend to assume that's like all the bells and whistles for the best price.
Okay. I'm trying to think of like, I've probably bought more featured tiers than not, but I'm trying to think if I've bought them because they were featured or not. So would it really be a big deal that it said featured on it or not?
Yeah. Well, when you have 2 people in the family home buying comics, you kind of have to budget them a little bit.
True. No, I completely
There have been
understand.
times where we've both gotten the same book, and I'm like, all right, we need to start talking about this.
His and her copy.
Yeah.
All right, so we have the Canaan White cover. Do we have a bigger image of that Canaan White? We must with all those.
I believe that was one of the first images we looked at, if I'm thinking right. Yeah.
Right there. Okay, so there's the Canaan White cover. That's pretty cool. What's she holding in her hand? A heart?
It looks to be one.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. And that was colored by Kyle Ritter. I wouldn't say that's his best coloring job, but not too bad. All right, how much for the shipping? Book is $25.
$10 US. $20 Canada. Aussie. Probably the same for UK. Yep. So 10 domestic, 20 international.
Okay. Now I'm a little confused, and maybe it's just because I haven't been following this campaign very closely. But he was talking about the second 30 pulling out the other covers, the Rob Willis and the Jimmy Reyes. Right. Now, I wasn't thinking we were in the second 30 because I don't think he's been out that long, but maybe we just passed the 30 days because now I'm noticing we got the add-on covers right there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll go back and double check the date. But that is kind of neat that, okay, say you only want 2 out of the 4. There you go. There's your add-on.
Yep.
And $10 shipping's pretty standard. Later, Hen.
Bye, Hen.
So Nicholas does point out that you tend to, because the featured tier is the first tier that shows up, you bought the featured tier trying to be first all the time.
Could be something to that psychology there.
Yeah. And Nicholas does point out that that's one of the things he doesn't like. Give me all the options up front. That is like the mentality that I remember a lot of people having in CG, but I'm seeing more and more campaigns like refreshing their campaigns in the second 30 with planned additions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like the mindset has done a completely 360, and I don't know if it's just me and my observations, but yeah, I would rather have it all up front too, because I don't want to back one thing and then in 30 days find out I like something else better. I think I've only refunded 2 items. One was because of the tip thing. I accidentally did a tip, so I rebacked it without the tip. And then the other one was trying to be first. I got a package, and I'm like, you know what? I don't really need that. So let's save the $15, which with the extra item was a really good deal. But I'm like, we'll save $15 and not get the 4th item or whatever. That
yeah.
You know what I mean, Mo.
I let it go completely over my head. I didn't realize until Mo said something. I was like, oh.
Complete 180.
But I guess maybe from a sales perspective, I mean, these guys are all trying to think of ways that they can keep that momentum alive, because it does, it's exciting for a couple of weeks, and then most of the time, unless you can get some sort of magic to happen throughout that 60 days, they're usually scrambling to try to find ways to keep it fresh. Maybe that was strategic, is all I'm saying.
No, and I think you're right, because Jim says it's a reason not to back right away. And as Derek points out, that as a creator, you need to keep everyone looking at campaigns. So many are trying to keep interest up. Yeah. And the Diaz brothers, they've done it from the beginning. They've always added sketch cards to the campaign. Like they tend to do it weekly for a series of weeks with guest artists and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they always go live at like Monday at 3 p.m. I've backed a couple myself, gotten some really cool sketch cards. The one thing that I like about that though is because they're sketch cards, it's just the $25 price for the sketch card. You're not adding on shipping.
Yeah.
So you are just paying the price for the item, or at least perceived price for the item, I suppose. Who knows how much a sketch card really costs, and shipping isn't much, but
I could see maybe, I don't know, I could see maybe holding back on certain maybe merchandise or some other type of extra rather than a cover. But to make me buy more, I don't know, like for instance, the Frog G thing, they added the beanie later, so people kind of came back and they were ordering the beanie even if they had ordered the book, and that was a way for people who had already backed to add money to the campaign, and it could have potentially brought new eyes. I'm not saying a beanie is going to solve all your problems. I'm just trying to use that as an example.
Yeah, no, and
like a way to make me spend more money than I originally had,
Right. Although, how did they ship the beanie? Is it coming from them when they fulfill the book, or is
it's
it coming
already
from
been
a third party?
Yeah, people are already getting their beanies.
Coming
So
from a
I'm
third
guessing
party?
third party. I don't know the specifics, but I know
So that
people
would
are
be,
getting them now.
that would be one of the reasons why you'd buy it, and you're paying shipping from someplace else, not necessarily worried about you're buying an extra book at a later date, paying another $10 shipping on top of the other $10 shipping that you paid the first time you backed it. Which I guess is one of the reasons why like those secret tiers are becoming more popular, because you can back new items and not worry about as much shipping or adding shipping or however you do it.
Yeah. Good point.
So hang on, let me go back to the chat. Where did I leave off? All right, so Mo Biggs points out that for this campaign, you keep people coming back to the campaign by adding the next chapter of the blurb. And Nicholas does point out that the Diaz do a good job of that with the sketch cards. Jim says keep interest on the streams. His backing is decreasing every year. He rarely backs on the first day anymore. Maybe have a 24-hour tier and do it first day, second 30, or last day, which I think Shane has had success with, like Inglorious Rex, where they did the 24-hour covers and then randomly they've brought it back throughout the throughout the campaign. So that is pretty cool. I do like that. I'm not saying Bean's gonna solve all your problems, but it worked for Tim Pool. All right, so we got cover 2, which I'm assuming is the same price.
Yes.
All right. Oh, there's cover 3. Then we must. What day are we at? Because this must be the second 30.
15 days left.
He doesn't have any updates. Go to the discussion. This is how I find out when things open and close. See if we can find the oldest one. Of course, it's unavailable. But that comment that we're reading, is that just 1 week ago? 2 weeks ago? Oh, show more.
That's it.
I wonder what happens in that case. Do you think that Joe deleted comments?
Maybe.
Like they're not relevant. I know sometimes when you look at discussions, it's like, oh, your campaign has not met its goal yet. We got ways we can help you. Reach out to me here, or something like.
Yeah, like if it's all spam.
Marketing spam, yeah. All right, so these are only showing like 1 week ago. I don't know. I must be in the second 30 because he talked about it being in the second 30. He was going to do two new covers.
I mean, by this, I would assume, he's got 2 weeks left, and that's that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, before he goes in demand. All right. So, there's Rob Willis cover. Oh, and we saw those images.
Can we go back to those images? I know, yeah. Now I'm like, I need to see those images bigger.
We saw those, yeah. Okay.
Because unfortunately, he didn't really give them credit underneath it, right? Yeah, no, he just kind of listed them right out.
No.
So that first one is that the lamb one, right?
The first one is the Canaan White cover.
So that's Canaan White. Okay, and then the one where she's falling, that's Joshua Lamb.
Joshua Lamb.
Okay.
Reyes. Nope, it doesn't go.
Not there. It's because he added them later. I think they're there. After
there we go. Okay, so that's Reyes.
I like his
and
moon.
He does not list them, but yeah, those are And then there's the Rob Willis cover.
Oh, the colors look different on both of them. Like, see the image next
Yeah,
to
like
each other?
mhm.
I wonder if it's different versions or if it's just the way the clip art
Like
changed,
just the
or
way it
it is
uploaded.
kind of weird. Yeah. Go
He
back
doesn't
to
have it in the
Reyes's
same
image. Scroll up to the moon or whatever that is. I'm thinking it's the moon.
It looks the same to me. Maybe it's just, but this is different than the full image. So maybe it changed it when the full image was uploaded.
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm looking more at the art.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not a huge Reyes fan, but I remember when we scrolled down through this, I liked the image, and I'm trying to figure out like what do I really like about the image? Is it the moon? Although the moon is not a realistic moon, but it's eye-catching.
I like the fact that you have a dark animal, a dark-haired woman. There's a lot of, and they're in space, and I can still see her hair clearly. I can still see all of the outline of the beast, the wolf, whatever it is. So for me, I mean, I like that about it.
Yeah, well, that is pretty cool. Wonder if they're in space though, or if that's just the background. Maybe we're talking about supernatural deity powers and artifacts and stuff. But yeah, no, I do like that cover. I don't know if that would be the cover I choose over everybody or not. Do you have a favorite of the four?
Of the four, I think it's between this one and the Canaan White. This one here.
Right. She's looking pretty badass in that that
Not
image.
to say I don't like the Joshua Lamb. I like them all actually, but
I like the perspective on the lamb.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But like cover wise, like that screams cover to me. I don't know. But I don't know. I guess I'm kind of partial to this one here. The more we look at it.
Yeah. It is eye-catching. So Derek goes back to streams aren't enough to keep interest in the campaign. Our viewer numbers are never consistent. Hey Jason, thanks for joining. He's saying that they're great covers. Atherline is here.
Hey.
And Jim points out that making stream content interesting isn't an easy task. That's when you pull out the TikTok boobies.
Hey, that went over like gangbusters. That's all I'm saying.
And it's funny how after we had that show, I'm finding other stuff. I'm like, we need to bookmark this and this. All right, but anyways, so hey Vanessa, thanks for joining. You mean super duper moons aren't or are realistic, Bob? No, it doesn't look realistic, but I like the effect that he has on it. Pale Ride is pointing out that he likes the wife beater stuffed with boobs, and then the fray. And then Derek points out, interesting enough, people watch the big creators first. I'm definitely more of a small stream kind of girl myself there, Derek.
I am too. Everybody's different though.
Jason points out that the moon's real when you're on edibles. As long as they're American made. Did you watch? You probably didn't watch the chat last night.
No, I went back. I didn't rewatch the whole thing. I was trying to I crashed pretty embarrassingly early last night, so
it was America's Vanessa's definitely a American main proponent. Let's just put it that way. So Jim Cox points out that chasing new customers at the risk of losing loyal customers is something each creator will have to weigh. That is true. All right, so one of everything. One of everything includes just the titles, the books.
It says one of everything. No, 3 covers plus one cover from the second 30 days and anything added, non-merch or original art related to this campaign plus perks.
So we haven't seen any non-merch or original art, which I'm kind of surprised because he talked about Well, I guess he didn't really phrase it in the fact that they'd be available for purchase, but he did mention like interiors by Rod Looper, so it made me kind of think that maybe there'd be some Rod Looper interiors put up on the campaign, but maybe that's still coming. Although we're only 15 days left, and all we see are covers.
Yeah, and and they're 25 each, so that's kind of like
You're not getting a deal.
Yeah.
Unless it's shipping wise.
Unless
What's the
there's
shipping
stuff
on that?
added. Oh yeah, good call. $20 US. Look at Indiegogo trying to slap a $25 tip on there.
Dang.
Scoundrels. So selfish. 25 Australia. It was 20 United States, right? Yeah. So that's not a big difference. 25 to Australia, 25 to Canada.
I think that's cheaper than some. Although
US, yeah.
that's still, there's that mentality of me like, do I want to pay the same price for shipping that I would want to pay for the book? And that would probably sway me no.
Yeah.
I am kind of bummed that there's not like a digital option on this, but hey.
So let's see. We had one of everything.
Now, what if you did pick one of the covers and then add on the covers? I want to see how the shipping breaks down for that. Add them all.
Add them all?
Add them all. We're going to see if we're saving shipping with that. We're getting wild.
One of everything. You get a comic. You get a comic. Okay, so shipping $10.
So you save money.
You sure do.
Just want to point that out to you folks. If you want to get one of everything because you like Rob Willis and Kanan White and Joshua Lamb and Jimmy Reyes and you couldn't decide, there you go. You're saving $10 there.
IGG hacks with Amanda.
So ACC does point out that Indiegogo likes to have text 0. Yeah, they used to have a 0 option. I'm kind of, too bad they got rid of that because I didn't mind the tip per se when it defaulted to the 0 and then you could choose whatever, or at least when you have the option 0, but now you have to like actually go in and type 0. They make it so inconvenient.
Yep, they got me once.
Where's George? I had an idea for a meme where it's a box of Life cereal, but with his face, and it says Eternal Life cereal. All right. Any other comments, questions before we go into something else? Ooh, excuse me.
Well, they got interior art pages for $250 and be drawn as a character for $500.
Oh, where did these pop up from?
That's it. Ethan Van Sciver sketch card. It doesn't have an image with it.
I don't know that I've seen him share it because I don't know if he actually has it yet. All right, we'll scroll up for a second.
Okay.
I thought the one of everything tier, and that was it. Oh, so there is an interior art pages. Okay. I was wrong. Be drawn as a character in a scene for $500.
And includes a copy of the book.
It's always good when they do that.
See, I'm assuming he hasn't gotten it yet because he doesn't have an image up. And then
makes it a big gamble to do that.
Original art cover, the only original art cover available by Rob Willis. Also included is one of everything perk. So one of everything plus the actual original art. Cover art.
So yeah, it does go to show that he's, trying to pull out all the punches with this because he's also got EVS doing something for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he's hiding the talent anywhere. He's putting it front and center.
He's showing his bling.
Yep. All right. So you want to go into one of the other ones? I'm not sure if we have other comments, questions.
I don't see any yet. Hi, Jolly Green.
Hey, Jolly Green.
What's the other one we talked about? Forsaken Gods?
Forsaken Gods, yep. which I think I know even less about Forsaken Gods.
Okay.
So it's a second chance special 100-page collected edition. And this is by Fresher Luke. So he's had another campaign before this, which I think he's done Forsaken Gods before that, but even more recently, he did an animated cartoon or a campaign for an animated cartoon. Unfortunately, did not make funding. And I don't think I realized that he was a colorist, but he actually filled in for some of the coloring on Fatal with
Okay. Everybody's
yeah,
hitting that
because I
right now.
know Sweetcast and Charlie Snogans was doing Fatal. They got Camel Moon to come in. I think he ended up doing some colors covers. Not sure exactly how much of the coloring he got done, but I know he came in to help out since Snogans was pretty busy at the time. And then it looks like they brought Luke in too, so that's pretty cool. But that's what I know about the campaign creator.
And is this probably first 30 days, or this is the second 30 days?
I think it's the second 30 because it's been out for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure when it launched, but my guess is about 30 days ago.
Approximately. Do you want to do the trailer?
Sure. There's his animation skills. Pre-order now.
Well, I definitely love the animation. Although it didn't tell me, it tells you who's in it. I guess like the characters that are in it, but doesn't necessarily really give me an idea like the last one did of where the story was going, kind of.
I agree. I'm wondering if that's
premise.
because this isn't the first time around for Forsaken Gods, that he's assuming that everybody that is coming to the second chance or whatever knows about the history of the book. I don't know, which is definitely downfall because both you and I are looking at this for the first time and like, okay, we get the characters, but what's the book about? I'm still like, what death comes for you? I don't know. But then I also was like looking, so Fresher Luke being an animator, I guess I wouldn't expect. I mean, not wouldn't. I'd be. How do I want to put this? I should have known that there would be animation in the trailer. But it almost seems like it should have been a cartoon, not for a comic book, because it makes me think that it is a cartoon now. I don't know, or should be a cartoon. And it's weird.
mean, it looks like it'd be a pretty cool cartoon if you made it, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And then the Death Comes for You, the animation style doesn't make me think violence.
But knowing that you said that he did he did animation, it didn't I didn't have that thought when it came when the animation was showing in the trailer. Sorry.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Okay, so this looks like a hardback if you look at the picture.
It does. But I don't think it is.
Okay.
The Forsaken Gods Volume 1 is an expansive, dark fantasy adventure featuring 100 beautifully rendered, full-color pages collecting books 1 and 2. Professional art, story, and characters that'll have you wanting more.
Okay.
tail spanning adventures. A tail spanning centuries. That
Spanning
makes sense.
centuries.
Okay.
Now see that
I'm
says
just
violence.
reading it wrong. Yeah. Heroes for the Ages.
But then that looks a little more cartoony.
Yeah. And
But it's-
that makes me think it's an all ages book. Heroes for the Ages, or is just
Perhaps.
referring to time? I don't know. Samara Akma is a young archaeologist looking for answers, while others search through dungeons and crypts looking for treasure and artifacts of power. She searches to understand the history of her fantastic worlds. Join in her adventures with the Dreaded Skull Knight. So, Dreaded Skull Knight is her sidekick? Can't be very dreaded if he's a sidekick, right?
Yeah, that sentence is confusing. Yeah, you don't know if he's her nemesis or her sidekick.
Yeah.
Join in her adventures with the Dreaded Skull Knight. Okay, maybe we find out more.
Mo says the skeleton warrior is the anti-Bancroft with the tiny head. What he lacks in forehead, the flames make up for, Mo. I like the coloring on that page.
This here or the one above?
No, the one with the grayscale. Nope.
Okay.
Down below.
Yeah, this I do too. Here.
The color palette I like.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's very
shadowing right there.
different from the page we saw before. So I'd be interested to see like the transition pages.
Like how are they tying?
And they're in like a dark cave, but yet it doesn't look so dark because of the lighting. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Right.
I like it.
The light coming in from the outside or
Yep.
something.
Interesting.
It almost looks comedic.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on in that last panel. Is that a hand? Somebody get punched? Yeah, because you have like the character that's stationary, and then you have something flying. I can't quite make out if it's a skull or not a skull, like a fist or what it is. I wonder if those are consecutive panels because I'm not reading what is supposed to be brought forth there if it is.
Yeah, that almost looks like a shield there. So let's see.
Oh, you think? Oh, maybe that's what he is. It's him holding a shield. That could make sense. And that's definitely more comedic right there. I don't know. I'm not. Am I just not getting the right take from this yet? Like I don't know what kind of book is this.
I'm confused. As far as like, it almost feels like a mix of two different right now, but
maybe they're different pages from the two different books.
Yeah.
Girl, is that what it's saying? Girl. Girly.
Maybe
they're in awe from a girl.
Or maybe it's just.
Oh, all right, keep going.
It's supposed to be a horrible growl.
Sketchbook also on offer is a 40-page sketchbook featuring many great original sketches from the creator. Grab yourself a copy and bask in its glory.
Those are cool.
Goals. There are more great volumes ahead. The entire story is planned out, and with your help, I will fill your shelves with a book unlike anything out there for a long time to come. Thank you so much for helping me tell this epic tale. Help dark fantasy reign with Forsaken Gods. So, all right. There's only book 1 and 2 completed together. I wonder if that completes some sort of a episode or something, because he is telling you that there are more books coming. So is there not a nice ending to the collected book here? Which I'm discovering I dislike more and more as I read more and more books. Because it is a shame, like you're reading a book and you like it, and most of them are pretty decent if they have a somewhat of an ending, but it leaves it open to something else coming. Like I don't mind those, but there are some that it's just like, wait, that's it? That's all there is? What's next? So I don't
So
know.
you don't like total cliffhangers or just being unclear whether or not it's going to continue?
Both. Like, there's got to be, I guess, some sort
Okay.
of something of a cliffhanger to get you interested in the next one, but there
Sure.
does need to be some kind of something that has a completion, you know, to I don't
Right.
know.
No.
I'm not a
I know what you're
writer,
saying.
but all right, so the Forsaken Fan. So back the first 100-page volume of Forsaken Gods in Collected Edition and the 40-page Fresher sketchbook for a fantastic deal. So you get the Collected Edition and a sketchbook for $45.
Ships to many locations.
Everywhere but Uganda.
$8.
Not a bad shipping price.
Mm-mm. And then you got trading cards for add-ons and t-shirt.
Okay.
Let's see. Australia, 17. Canada, 15. UK, 20.
That's probably a little more than, not little, definitely a difference between the $8, but not as much as I've seen others.
Sure.
So Mo Biggs points out that cliffhangers tend to lose their impact when you're probably waiting a year or more for resolution.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good point.
All right, what are the other tiers? Just a
So you
collected
get-
sketchbook.
Yeah, just a sketchbook by itself. Volume 1 by itself. And that's it.
What's the shipping for the volume 1 by itself?
That's $8. So probably comparable. The other ones, probably the same as they were before. 17. Yep.
Okay.
Same shipping prices.
So yeah,
At
at a
least for
40-page thing, it's not going to change the weight much, probably. So yeah, I don't know what to take away from this campaign, to tell you the truth. I am a little confused by it.
Yeah, I'm with you that the art, I love the art. There's some of the pages, like you said, the coloring was really impressive, but it does seem like a mix of styles. So I don't know how they blend those together. You know, how does it go?
Right. If this is like a image from the history of something happened, and then we're fast
Right.
forwarded to the two characters here.
Because that
Or
is something
more,
they say,
but
that instead of searching for treasure, blah, 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 she searches to understand the history. So it could be, the historical is less animated than the present day story.
yeah,
That would make
maybe.
sense.
I guess that would explain why it's two different styles. But I would still think, as I'm reading, it would be kind of confusing and weird.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, I think about, like in the movies, sometimes when they're showing something that happened in the past, they'll go to black and white.
Okay.
And it kind of helps you distinguish the time period so
Like,
that they don't
yeah.
have to explain we're going to the past. It's like your cue, your mental cue.
Guess you have a point there. That could be the difference between like the super bright colors versus some of the more muted colors. Like that cave image that I really like is something in the past.
Could be, although that's a
Or
big
maybe
robot
not.
thing.
Yeah.
We might be onto something. We might be totally wrong.
Yeah.
It would make sense that would be how it would go. Muted colors for historical events.
Is that guy missing an eye, or he just has blood coming down from his forehead?
He has his eye. I'm like zooming in on it here or looking closely. Looks like he's got his eye. He's just got blood coming down.
All right. So anybody in the chat have any suggestions, questions, comments about Forsaken Gods? Have they actually, where it's a second chance if it's a second chance campaign, I wonder if others have gotten it. Anybody have any history or knowledge about Forsaken Gods that they want to impart, whether they've read it and liked it, or others have read it and heard good things?
Yeah, if Luke watches this back, it'd be cool for him to comment and maybe
Give a little
take a
more
page
insight to it. Yeah.
Dark Gifts. Maybe the Cliff Notes version, like Mo said.
Right. I wonder, actually, click on, before we end it, click on Fresher Luke's name. We'll check out his other campaigns. Like I said, I know one of them is the animation, and then the other one must be the other Forsaken God. So let's look at that real quickly to see.
How do
think
I
you're gonna
look
wanna.
at his
No, go back
campaigns?
up.
Do I look
Right
at
up
it?
to where it says
Oh, there we
profile
go.
and then campaigns. Yeah. Oh wait, it doesn't show that the other one. Did he do it under a different name? Maybe. I know I'm not going crazy about the animated one. But anyways, pull up the, let's see, Forsaken 1, Forsaken 2, Forsaken Gods comic. What's the difference? All right, click on
I'm
one. We'll
confused.
see what they are. I think that one's the one we're on, right? Yeah, that's the one we're
Yes.
on. So let's go back. So you do have 1 and 2. Okay, so those are the separate versions, I guess. Gods 2, scroll down to see the funding. Made almost $10,000 with 230 backers.
Wow.
More secrets about the terrifying Skull Knight. Maybe they're not a sidekick, because terrifying secrets.
Yeah. Seems like a nemesis. Even though it looks a little comedic, he doesn't seem like a sidekick.
And the first one was only 5,000 with 250 backers. So he's had a decent following through the book, and he had 251 backers with the first one, and it was 250 something backers with the second one. So enough people must have liked the first one to sign on for the second one.
It's a good sign. Yeah.
That is a good sign. Not always correct to read into it that way, but could be. You know what I mean?
We're given the benefit of the doubt here.
Right. Mo does point out that I'm not crazy to try to crowdfund an animation, although I don't think it was Forsaken Gods. Yeah, no, I don't think it was Forsaken Gods either. And I can't remember if it was a show or what it was, but I would have thought it would have been here in a campaign, so he must have done it under a different name, maybe his studio name or something. All right, so I think that is it, unless you have other comments, questions about Forsaken Gods.
Me personally, I do not. Just like I said, it would be cool if he does watch this back to give us a little bit of insight as to the difference in the style. Is it going back to the difference between the past and the present, or that's all. That's my one request.
Mo does point out that it was the Random Saga. He is right. That's right. I remember that now. So it must have been on something else. All right. I haven't seen any questions, comments, or anything come up in the chat, so we'll probably end it pretty much here. What are you up to this coming week, Mrs.?
This coming Saturday, we're gonna do our 80s music show. So
is that why you've been doing all those polls?
That's what all of the polls are for, which is to try to, so we thought, oh, well, because, we make our favorite compilations, and usually the chat will yell out, like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that one. And we thought, well, maybe we could do polls between certain songs, and then we'll make a compilation based on who won between, similar types of songs. And then that'll be like the voted upon 80s music compilation type of thing. 80s is going to be tough, though. There's so much music.
There is. So for those of you that are on Twitter or aren't on Twitter, because I'm assuming you could still vote even if you don't have an account, but Mr. Good Stuff is doing a series of music polls where he's pitting two different songs against each other, and then he's having you decide which one is the victor.
I gave him one suggestion, and you said it was hard, and he sold me out in a heartbeat. Oh, Mr. Good Stuff thought of that one.
Well, of course, he's not going to take the rap for that.
Yeah, but it's my fight. I pitted Take On Me by a-ha against Tainted Love by Soft Cell, and a-ha so far is winning.
Yeah, no, I thought it was tough because I was like, oh, which one do I like? But I actually had to listen to them both again to figure out which one I would prefer. And because I remember, like, they're probably two of like my favorite of the time period.
Yeah.
And similar style. So but I did vote for Take On Me. I do like that one more. But I remember, and I actually have I had, like, back when you could assign ringtones to your phones and it was like all the latest thing. I had Tainted Love as my ringtone.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And when my phone would ring, because the place I worked, I couldn't have my phone on me, so I had it in my locker, and I had it set for the volume, and I actually got spoken to by my boss one time because he was like, "You need to, like, change your ringtone or shut it off or whatever." And I'm, like, thinking, "How can you do that?" I'm like, "It's in my locker. It's not like it's on me." And I'm like, "Oh," but
It's probably
actually
getting, like, stuck in your boss's head, and it's irritating the crap out of him,
maybe,
like, "I'm driving
maybe.
home every day singing Tainted Love. I've had it."
But, ever since then, my phone's been on silent.
You were
Yeah,
scarred for life against ringtones.
yeah,
See, I would've
unless
thought
I'm
the "Aha" would have made a better ringtone. That almost sounds like a phone.
that's
The
true,
"do
but
do do
I
do do
liked
do
the,
do."
"Dun, dun."
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but no, like, unless I'm expecting a phone call that I know is, like, super important, I'll turn the volume up so I don't miss it. But normally my phone is, like, 24/7 on silent, which thankfully there's only been a couple times that I've regretted that decision. Um,
Yeah, my
but
mom
yeah.
tends to yell at me because if I don't answer, she thinks I've fallen down the stairs and died or something. She's a little overly dramatic, like, if she tries to ring me and I don't answer. But I'm just like, I'm not, I mean, I am pretty much glued to my phone, but there
Yeah,
are
I know that
times
it
where it's
doesn't take
not
me
on
long
it.
to respond on my phone, but yeah. No, or actually, if it's to the point where if I get calls from people because I like rarely physically talk to someone, um,
Yeah,
I'm like,
same.
what happened? Is it bad? Why are they calling me?
Actually, yeah, there are certain people that, yeah, if they do call, I'm like, "Oh, this must be important." Like,
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
everything. So and so is calling me.
I know.
Hey, Yucky.
There has been times where I'm like, oh my God, my dad's calling me. Why is he calling me? Because even before when my mom was alive, it was always my mom. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I would go so long not talking to my dad because I would, how are you doing for my mom? So it is
Yeah.
like, oh no, is something wrong? But of course, we're trying to do the whole keep in touch a little bit more often, even
Sure,
if
yeah.
it's only like a 5-minute conversation. How you doing? What have you been up to? Okay, bye. But yeah, we're me and my dad are probably more alike than not, and we're not much of a. You would think I would talk more with as much as I talk here, but I just think it's awkward over the phone. Yes.
It
Hey,
puts you on
Yucky.
the spot, and I think that's why my mom likes to actually talk to me over the phone rather than text because she can corner me and be like, "What are you doing tomorrow at 3 o'clock?" Like, and I don't have time to think up anything.
I'm busy, mom. Washing my hair.
I am, she already knows I'm not doing anything. Just come clean. I'm free. What do you need?
Yeah, Yucky. We're getting ready to end it, so I'm sorry.
Good
Oh,
job
so
on the
those of
auction
you,
last
yeah,
night,
yeah, they had
Yucky.
an auction
He was an
last night, and
auctioneer.
yeah, no, it was fun. I watched the beginning of it, and then I ended up falling asleep, and I'm kind of mad, but not really mad because they had some really great pieces last night, which I did
They did
not
have some
vote,
good
but I
ones.
did bid on a Dillard piece, and I won it. And he had a complimentary. It was I won a Michelangelo Ninja Turtle piece because I
Oh,
like the Ninja
cool.
Turtles. Yep,
Yeah,
and he had.
Dillard was doing, like, flash sales and stuff, wasn't he? See, I fell asleep, so I didn't watch the first part of it. I actually woke up and, like, caught the middle of the night part for a little bit.
Oh, is that what he? Well, anyways, the other one, the complimentary piece was a Leonardo, and I'm not as big of a Leonardo fan as I am Michelangelo, but it would have been great to have the dual piece together. Although you do need kind of a foursome in that way, but anyways, it was a great piece because Dillard is pretty darn talented. And I was thinking, oh, should I bid on it? Should I not bid on it? Well, of course, I fell asleep, and so when I rewatched it last night, I don't think anybody bid on it. Um,
Really?
so I was like,
But they
should I
all did
reach out to
say,
him?
yeah, they all did say to DM them and contact them if something did not sell that you're interested in,
Yeah,
so
so maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. I don't necessarily need it. There's other stuff that I really should be spending my money on. Um,
yeah, it's a hard time for me because I don't have auction money right now. Sometimes it's hard to watch it. I like to see what everybody's showing, but then I get
they had really good deals last night. Like they had Peter Gilmore on, and the
yeah.
pieces that he showed last night didn't quite tickle my fancy. But he's talented,
The
and
one that
he had a
Fanta got, did
piece.
you see that one?
I did see that one. That one's
That was
pretty cool.
beautiful.
A little darker than, my personal tastes,
It
and
was a death
I like the
dealer.
Wolfman one. It was super talented. I actually
Uh-huh.
bid on the Wolfman one, but um it went quickly. Like I was gonna bid higher than what Shadow won it at, but they did
Mhm.
the countdown, damn you, Yucky, really quickly. So it was like down to like I think I was entering my bid at like 3, and I'm like, I'll never get it. No big deal. And so I didn't actually
Yucky
send
did,
my
so
bid
you'll probably
through.
be mad that you fell asleep though, because Yucky slowed his counts down. He
No,
took that
no,
under
I think
advisement from
after
somebody.
that one, yes, they
He
did
was
much
doing
better with
one
counting.
Mississippi.
Yeah,
Two
yeah, because when there
Mississippi.
was bids there, they definitely had like, if there's some bids, you gotta like slow it down, but it's okay, because while like I think Peter Gilmore is pretty darn talented. There's always another time to grab something. But the piece, that Wolfman piece, went for $61,
Yep.
which included shipping from the UK. And I'm like, that was a
Yeah.
really good deal.
Yep. He was doing his all free shipping.
Yep, yep. So, and then I think, did I bid on the horse one? I don't remember if I did or not. But I'm like, he said there was whatever it was from. I wasn't even familiar with where the image had come from, but it was
The
definitely a great
horse,
piece.
that was from Lord of the Rings.
Okay. I know they were explaining stuff that just kind of went over my head. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. But yeah, it was a good piece. They went
Yeah.
to a good home, or we'll go to a good home. But anyways, as we go on about the thing. So yeah, last night there was an auction. A lot of stuff did not get picked up, unfortunately. So go ahead and watch the replay and maybe TM if you see something.
Yeah, for sure. They went for a few hours last night. I think they did a good job because I don't know if I'm right, but I don't think Vic's ever done an auction on his channel before.
No, he has.
It's a lot to keep track of. So
Yep. Actually,
they did
it
a
was
good
an
job.
auction that I watched the first time I was actually paid much attention to Vic's channel. And that's when I started watching Vic's channel more and more. But he did an auction. I was actually camping that night, but James Dean had a piece that was going up that I really wanted. So I was watching while I was camping with Girl Scouts that night to try to get that piece. And it went, I think it went to somebody else or something like that. But that was the first time I tuned in, like really tuned into a Vic King stream. And so he has done auctions before. Hopefully he does more. He had a pretty decent turnout. It was like
Yeah.
mid-30s or something like that last night,
Yeah, he
high
had a lot of
30s.
folks. I think he
Yeah.
made it up to maybe 40. It's close to at some point.
Yeah.
At least when I had kind of started paying attention, he went for several hours. So
Yeah.
yeah, and
Got a little
lot of,
later than I would have preferred, but that's okay.
well, it
All
gave
right.
me something to do when I woke up, so I wasn't mad.
So yeah. All right. What's up for my week? There is the chat this coming Saturday. I'm not sure that I'll make it. I think I might have some social plans to attend to. And then probably this coming Sunday. But anyways, we will be seeing you around in the chats as usual.
Yes.
All right. I think that's the end. Have a good day, guys.
See ya.
Bye. Do 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 do.
Your own